See? Yeah, you don't want to go into the bunker. I know, I wouldn't want to go into the bunker as well. We're here at the Fichte bunker, and this bunker was built in the wave of bunkers that were built in Berlin. Hitler ordered a lot of bunkers to be built because the inevitable was going to happen. That also became clear to him, that the Allies would start bombing Berlin. Now they intended this bunker for up to 6,000 civilians, and they were pretty much only the hoity-toity Malloy of Berlin, because they had 750 individual rooms where they could be separated from the others, have a little bit of privacy, and in perfect safety. Now, all these intentions were very well and good, but as soon as the bombardments of February of 1945 commences, the bombardments hold on for several hours and several days even. So, in the end, up to 30,000 people were inside this bunker, crammed inside this bunker, because this little entryway we're standing now is about a square meter, slightly over a square meter, but that would mean that if you cram 30,000 people in that building, that 6 or 5 people would be standing in this little entryway. But then imagine this in a big room where hundreds of people would be crammed in together in 60 degrees Celsius heat and 150% humidity, sweaty condensation dripping from the ceiling, which was pretty much the only water you could drink, and then all of that in pitch darkness, because they had to switch off the lights to save energy from the generators to provide energy for the filtration system, because the air filtration was mechanical and power was running low. So in that 60 degrees Celsius heat, 150% humidity, you would be standing literally in human soup, because the toilets were clogged up and overfilled. They were not intended for 30,000 people. We're here at the entranceway to this bunker. These gates would be closed, generally speaking, but 75 years ago to the day, this was a very busy point, because Field Marshal Zhukov showed up at the very edge of the city, and he started to bombard the city with his world-renowned Stalin organ. He had these pipes, and he shot these unguided rockets into Berlin and shooting the whole city center to smithereens. The people were in a rage, in a panic. They just vacated this horrible building from hell when they just had to take shelter from the Allied bombardments. And now Field Marshal Zhukov was coming into town, and they had to flee yet again. So they were all cramming inside this building through these several entryways into what they thought was the safest place they could be. Probably it was a good bet, because Zhukov was not about to let go. So we're here at the outskirts of Berlin, and as Zhukov went into town, he was fighting against very severe opposition. He moved most of his troops via the northern edge of the town all the way around Berlin to attack from the west. And as he could attack from the west, the Germans would pull back from this side of town, expecting the main brunt coming from the north and the northwest. And this is when Zhukov knew that he could attack from here. He actually stayed a while in this little house right over here. It was very inconspicuous because the palace is a little bit further down. And the reason he stuck himself in this house is because the main opposition was just down this street. That's where we're going next. So as Zhukov was sitting in that little house we just saw, a couple of 100 meters down the road was this entryway. It was actually a bridge for railroads. But of course that was already hit by air raids. And now this was one of Berlin's last defenses. It was deemed impregnable, it was an anti-tank fortress. However, Zhukov knew that if you hit it hard enough, and when they least expected, you can get through. And he did.